Hey everyone, Monica Moore here for this installment of Ask Monica. And today we're talking about one of my favorite topics actually, which is Lean PCOS, so polycystic ovarian syndrome. As many of you know, if you know anything about it, about 2/3 of people who have PCOS are in a higher BMI category, a BMI category that puts them into the overweight or obese category. So about 1/3 of people with PCOS fall into a normal BMI category. That is both somewhat due to genetics. Some of us are lucky. I have PCOS and at this point in my life am considered lean, fall into that lean PCOS category. And partly it's due to luck. It's due to a genetic predisposition to not struggle with obesity. But the other part is that I do work hard at managing it. Even when you have lean PCOS, you still have a higher prevalence of insulin resistance, which then can lead to many metabolic consequences such as type 2 diabetes, gestational diabetes. So you have a higher risk of that than other people who are your age and your weight that don't have PCOS. So it still always can feel kind of like it's lurking in terms of insulin resistance, but it is absolutely manageable. So the best way to create insulin sensitivity, which is the opposite of insulin resistance, is exercise. So really, skeletal muscle is a huge source of pulling glucose out of the bloodstream and into the muscle. So exercise using skeletal muscle, having hypertrophy of skeletal muscle is a great way and a way that I use in order to keep my insulin resistance down, and also, of course, as a form of exercise, to keep your excess fat away or excess weight. Another way is to eat a certain way. Make sure that you prioritize protein at every meal. Make sure that when you have a carbohydrate, it's what we call a slow carbohydrate, or one that takes a long time to digest, one that's closest to its natural form as possible. So brown rice over white rice, a multi-grain pasta over white pasta. Have a healthy fat, olive oil, salmon, nuts, nut butters, eggs, all important to have in order to meet all the components of your meal such that your insulin level doesn't spike. When you have insulin resistance, your hormones that tell you when you're full versus when you're hungry are not working properly. So it is true that you often feel hungry when you shouldn't, and you don't feel full when you should. And you have to really learn to recalibrate and honor when you're hungry and decide when that is for you, and then always have a plan. So what I find that is best for people who really keep a sustainable, healthy BMI weight is that they plan. They plan their meals. They make sure that they have certain ingredients in their homes at all times. There's certain foods that I suggest as staples that you keep either in your refrigerator, freezer, or pantry, or all of those places that you always have on hand. You always have a healthy snack. You have a cooler that you bring into the office. It might seem like a lot, but really when it comes down to what's going to help in terms of keeping you at a certain weight, it is always having the food that you know nourishes you best and makes you feel best at your fingertips, whether that's home, at the office, on a trip, on a car ride, all of those things. So really meal planning is priority. Exercising is priority. Using weights is great. And then there is a huge stress component where PCOS is concerned, regardless of your weight. You know, the feeling that things might feel beyond your control is incredibly stressful. And so having some form of stress release is paramount. So I've talked on this platform before about yoga in terms of mind-body. Journaling is great. Invoking a sense by having let's say a bubble bath, using lavender, using essential oils, but really figuring out a way to relieve stress that doesn't have to do with eating or with taste. Sometimes we use food to solve a problem that food doesn't solve. And that's a whole nother conversation, but I know I did that for a while. And when I did that, I found that I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. So We have lots of offerings on PCOS. We have health coaches like me and a really robust PCOS group who's happy to talk to you. But really realize that it is possible to manage your PCOS, to be happy doing so, and to do so in a sustainable way. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.